So in previous videos I've gone through how to record drums and guitars and bass and have them sound real cool, real quick and real cheap. So just using freebie plugins and just mega basic workflow. So next I'm going to show you how to create those large backing vocals that you've heard in bands like Van Halen and Bon Jovi and all those great 80s bands that also sound really cool in the background of modern hard rock and metal tracks. Okay, so I'm in the DAW here and I've just set up a single track, and this is the song that we recorded in our guitar video. Cool. So it's just this mega basic riff, and I just want to sing something over the top of there that's going to be big, like a gang vocal. So I'm going to pick something at random from this old sci-fi stories book. Let's see what we got. So I've picked, lucky dipped a page, Red Leader. How about that?
Red 5 standing by.
As before with guitars, I'm making sure that the microphone isn't peaking out when I'm singing. I'm not going into the red, causing all kinds of problems later on for myself. So I'm going to do a test vocal to see how that sounds. Red Leader. Cool. So probably way out of tune, and that does not matter for this. We're doing big gang vocals. If we were doing a pop track, I'd go through and make sure the takes were good, and then I'd probably even auto-tune it or just pitch correct things as I went. But this is a rock song. We want that roughness. We want it to be like a gang, like a football chant almost. So see what we got. You can see that the wave didn't peak out, so that's sounding cool. It's a little quiet, but that's fine because we are going to be multi-tracking. So I'm going to pull that down. So now the main trick to this...
There's no trick to it. It's just a simple trick.
Similar to guitars where we double tracked, we're going to quad track that vocal. So this is going to take some time, but let's get through it. Red Leader.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Cool. So now we have our 4 melody lines. We're going to maybe try and come up with a harmony to go with that. We'll also do some octaves and then the secret sauce I'll get to in a minute. So let's try an octave down. Red Leader. So that's 3. One more. So hearing that back all together. Red Leader. Kind of funky. But we've not done all the tricks that we're going to do to it yet. Okay, so now we're going to go for a harmony. Man, I'm going to be sick of Star Wars by the end of this. Okay, so now we've got the melody down an octave, and a harmony to that original melody. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to pair up these tracks now. So we've got tracks 1 and 2, then 3 and 4 I'm going to skip, 5 and 6, 7, 8 skip, 9, 10. I'm going to pan all those guys to the left. I'm going to do the same trick for 3 and 4, 5 and 6 skip, 7 and 8, 9, 10 skip, 11 and 12. So those guys are all going to go to the right. Let's see how that sounds. Red Leader. So now we've got that stereo wideness that we have with the guitars that we talked about before. I'm going to bring all of these guys into a bus. So I'm going to just reuse the track that I had before for recording. I'm going to color it just so I can keep track of what's going on. And then I'm going to bring my vocals into that track. And now I can add effects to this one red bus track here, and it's going to affect all of those tracks. Rather than having 12 compressors and 12 lots of reverb or whatever else, I can just add my effects to the red bus track and it will do it to everything within that. So I'm going to start with a little EQ. I'm going to do the re-EQ that's again a freebie that comes with Reaper, and they usually have settings for backing tracks and whatever, move to the back and that sort of thing. But first I'm going to hit it with a bit of a high pass filter just so it's not interfering with the guitar so much, and it's going to give space when I want to add my lead vocal as well. Red Leader. Maybe a bit more. Red Leader. Next I'm going to add compression, and you guessed it, the same compressor that I use on everything basically. This is my go-to at the moment. I love this thing. This is the Fetish from Analog analog obsession. Just to try and even things up a little bit there. It's already hitting pretty hard, to be fair. So that's just evening things out, just for fun. Let's add a little reverb, make things sound a bit more spooky, ethereal, put them to the back of the mix a little. I'm going to go for about 30. Again, another freebie that comes with repo, reverb. We can add a bit more reverb than that. Cool. I'm going to bring the volume down just a tad on the vocals. So again, the vocals can all be controlled with that one track rather than having individual ones. But then you've also got the option as well, if you want the harmonies to be louder than the octaves, you can go in and pick those first 4 and just boost them up a tad, and then you're going to hear those more. So you're thinking that's it, aren't you? That's the end of the video. Well, no, there's one more secret sauce thing, and this is something that Mutt Lange famously does. A lot of those big 80s rock and, you know, hair metal bands would do this trick. A lot of the time when people like Mutt Lange are recording Def Leppard, it would be Mutt Lange actually doing the vocal takes on his own in the studio at night after the band's gone home, adding take after take after take after take of vocals. So you can see it could get pretty laborious. I've already done 12 takes of one word. Imagine doing an entire song. So now the extra trick that Mutt Lange does is a whisper track, and it's not like you put a bit of oomph behind it, just so your mic can even hear you. You may need to adjust your interface settings as well to hear, because obviously you're going to be a bit quieter than when you were doing full vocals. Think of it like when you were a kid and you were doing monster noises, like rah, 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 that kind of a thing. So I'm not actually whispering, but I'm not talking either. It's kind of somewhere in between. And we're going to do the same thing again, 4 takes, whispering Red Leader. So let's see how that sounds. There we go. So those were completely out of tune. It's a lot harder to hit the right pitch when you're whispering, I'm finding. But let's see how it sounds in the mix. So let's just bring those 4 up again a tad. So it just adds a little high-end sparkle to the mix, and it really does make quite a bit of difference. We're going to go through again, pick out 2 and put them on the left, 2 and put them on the right, and let's see what we got. So there we go, that's the method I use for recording backing vocals. I've picked up a lot of tricks from watching videos about Mutt Lange a lot, as you may have guessed. I'll be doing more videos later on vocals and other instruments, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss anything like that. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time. See you then. Bye bye.